about 3 weeks, President-elect Trump will deliver the biggest speech of his life, his inaugural address. Stephen Miller, his incoming White House policy advisor, is helping him write it, but Mr. Trump is reportedly crafting the first draft himself and is looking to these two predecessors for inspiration.
Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. Now, so there will be no misunderstanding, it's not my intention to do away with government. It is rather to make it work. Work with us, not over us. To stand by our side, not ride on our back.
According to the Washington Post, the president-elect told some of his visitors yesterday that Reagan's style and Kennedy's articulation of grand national ambitions will be central to how he thinks in his own speech. Kimberly, you were rapt attention on Reagan.
I love it, yes. Well, Reagan and also on JFK, and Kate and I were kind of remarking to one another that he sounded like a Republican.
Yeah.
JFK did, and I know that's somebody that President-elect Trump really admires. And when Bill Gates was there, he said that after the meeting, that he reminded him of JFK. So I think these are two really important speeches and two important presidencies to draw inspiration from. These are people that he admires, and they're really similar to the message that he was echoing throughout his campaign, like make government work for you, efficient, effective, lean it out if you need to, and the idea too that the United States will not cower in fear. We will stand alone in times of adversity, and we will stand with our allies and beware our enemies.
Yes, Eric, Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
He does not mince words.
No.
He wrote the famous speech at the convention that everyone called dark. What are you expecting from this one?
So these speeches, they should last, I don't know, 15 to 25 minutes. I'm hoping it's not a real long one. Here's what I want to hear, though. So we heard Donald Trump, bring the fire, bring the flame, get the crowd going throughout the whole campaign, throughout the primary, through the general election. On Inauguration Day, when he's standing there with the Capitol behind him, I want to hear Donald Trump from the heart, because when he talks from the heart, he is influential. So as evidenced by people who don't like Donald Trump will spend 15 or 20 minutes with him. They'll go to Trump Tower and they'll come out going, you know what, he's a good guy. He means well. He wants to win. And he wants the best for the country. I think if he does that for 15 minutes on the steps of the Capitol, he will win not only Republicans' hearts, anti-Trumper hearts, but also a lot of Democrat hearts.
Yeah, what do you think, Richard? What's the one thing he has to say to you and your friends to charm you?
I guess my heart's for sale now, huh?
Everyone's hearts for sale.
Everybody, baby, tu corazón, mi corazón.
Dos corazones.
Sí, dos corazón.
But in all seriousness, I think what I want to hear from this president is rebuilding, how he rebuilt America, right? So he talks about it. Obviously, can't talk about policy, but at least framing up what this, how do we rebuild America? How do we, quote unquote, make America great again, if that's a thing? Because I always want to, the question I always ask, like, when was it not? What does great, make America great again mean? When was it great? So we can figure out when.
Well, there were a couple of instances in American history where you could say it wasn't so great. Well, one Jimmy Carter, the end of Jimmy Carter's.
No, just give me a year.
I want to get to the 2009 and 2010, America was definitely on our heels.
Make it great again, like Reagan.
To Donald Trump in his inauguration address discussing what makes Americans proud to be Americans. And I think that he'll do a very good job of that. I like that he's pulling from Ronald Reagan, who was a very big advocate for small government. The federal government, according to almost everyone in America, is far too big, far too expansive, far too regulatory, has the boot of on the necks of individuals and on small businesses. So he can talk about, I think, what makes everyone proud to be an American rather than what makes us different and why we're divided. And I think that it will probably be pretty good based on his speechwriter and based on who he's drawing inspiration from.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward
he's
to it.
starting and doing drafts himself, and Stephen Miller is hugely talented, and they echo the same voice and theme. So that they work very well together, and apparently the rest of the team members are working on it as well.
All right, next. It was one of the most popular gifts this Christmas, but is Amazon Echo more creepy than cool? The device could help solve a murder case in one state. Details ahead.